puppy weaning time. We've got the crate is still in there that they've been in for the last, until they were 3.5 weeks old. And now we've put up a kind of a pen around that. We're in our kitchen, so why are we in our kitchen? Because everybody's going by it all the time. Mum can see what's going on. We enjoy playing around with the puppies and just making sure everything's okay. But you could do this in a bedroom or something. But for us, it's in our kitchen. And I sometimes hear people saying, "Oh, they're a puppy mill." Well, okay. I don't know. This is a pup. What do you think, Tami? This is a puppy mill?
No.
No. Okay. So here are the babies. The 3 babies are sleeping with Mum. They are really liking this extra room they've got. So what's the goal here? Number 1, get them off Mum so Mum can have some Mum time. Her coat's blown a little bit, though she's doing pretty good, but this is one of the things you run into where Mum starts to lose hair and just generally not looking so good. Now, she's got a small litter, it's really not pulled her down, so her weight's not dropped, but some dogs, they can look really, really skinny at this point because they've been making puppies off milk. And so getting them weaned is a good thing. So, Tami, what do you think is the earliest you can wean puppies?
If you've got a bad mama, maybe 4 weeks you could wean puppies.
Right, so what Tami's saying is, like for instance, example would be, you've got a mum whose milk's no good, or got a mum who she won't look after her babies, or got a mum who's got mastitis, any of these reasons where she can't look after her babies, then the sooner you can get them weaned, the better you are. And they've got to have teeth, and that's going to be something around 4 weeks, so you can start introducing them to soft, mushy food. These guys are now 5 weeks, actually they're 5 weeks and 3 days old, 4 days old. They've got teeth, and they've actually got introduced to food in Mum's cage. They've been eating Mum's biljack for the last week, but now they're really getting it where they can eat as much as they want, and we're going to introduce them to their food here in a second. So also you can see over there's a tray with a grate on it. We want to encourage the puppies to potty on that. That way Mum is not having to clean poop up all the time, which is also not particularly pleasant. I mean, she does it, absolutely does it, but we just assume she doesn't have to do that. One of the challenges is because Kit is such a good mum, anytime they poop out here, she wants to immediately gobble it up. And if they poop on this and falls through, she manages to suck it up through the grate. So we'll see how she does on this. But what we're going to do is we're going to start, when we see a puppy poop, we're going to put it on the grate so they can get in the habit of pooping right there. It's going to make life a lot easier for everybody. Okay, how often do you feed puppies, Tami? When you've got them on some mush, how often are you feeding them?
Twice a day.
Twice a day?
While they're still on mama.
While they're still on mama. So we feed them in the morning, feed them in the evening, and they still get mama. And what the general rule of thumb is you leave food out until everybody's finished eating, which may be 10 minutes, and then you can let Mum finish up what's left. Some mums, you're going to have to separate them from babies, because they're just going to muscle in and gobble the food up. Kit will absolutely not do that. She's just going to let puppies eat. So let's get some food in here. Hey, Kit.
But I've got water in here. I put hot water in here.
So what is that food?
It's not quite soft enough yet. This is Life Abundance that we sell on our website, mybreedersupply.com. And it's small puppy. And so this is still real good for mama to eat too when you're transitioning from biljack to this, because it still has all the...
So I'm just going to put my finger in here. I'm going to grab a piece. And you can
not
see that it doesn't...
Whoops, no,
it's hard in the middle. It's not soft yet, so I can't smush it.
Right.
So how long has it been in there for?
Probably 30 minutes. So I'm going to cover it up like this,
right,
where the heat can still be in it, because I put hot water, and it's softening still.
So it's going to take another half an hour. All right, we will check back in half an hour. This kibble's been sitting now for an hour, and I did smush it up with a fork just to make sure that there aren't, we just want to be careful about not getting any lumps that could choke a puppy. Anyway, we'll just kind of monitor it as we do it. So, all right, so here comes the puppies. Let's see what they think about this. Mum will come check it out, I'm sure. Here you go, puppies. All right. This one's like, hey, it's food. And you can see Mum, she's just going to let them just get on with it. She's not going to muscle in on them. But be careful about this because there's a couple of things that could happen here. Number one, mum just decides she's going to eat it all. Number two, mum gets upset that puppies are eating her food. So you got to be careful about this, that you don't, I mean, there's not going to be an issue with Kit. She just wants to say hi to me. There's just not going to be an issue with Kit whatsoever at all. What do you recommend for a bowl for feeding puppies? Well, if you've got a lot of puppies, that bowl's not going to be enough. They'll be fighting it. So, do you have any of those, that bunt tin bowl thing? We sell on My Breeder Supply a bowl specifically for feeding puppies. It's got a center section so that the puppies can get all the way around it and they're not in it. What we used to do in the past was give them a pie dish. The trouble with that is the puppies would actually get in it. So you'd have one puppy that's standing right in the middle of it, and that wasn't very hygienic. So this works pretty good, just with 3 puppies. But yep.
And remember, when you smush it down, it smashes down when they're eating it, so you need to fluff it back up.
Okay.
Keep it where they can get it.
Get to it, right.
If they just lick and lick and lick, they give up because they're tired.
Right.
So keep it fluffed up.
Gotcha.
Throw it in the middle with it. Like I scoot it out to the edges so they're able to not be tempted to walk into the middle to get the good stuff.
Right,
So
and that's where
leave a hole.
that's where that bowl works out well because it's got a center raised portion to stop that from happening. But okay, sounds good. All right. So they are going to feed now until they've had enough, and I'm going to pause the video or speed it up, whatever, so you can just kind of see that process. But they'll finally get to the point they've had enough, and one of them will walk away, and then the other ones will, and then we'll let mum finish up, whatever. Or we'll take the bowl away, put it in the fridge, and keep it for later on. So this is going to happen twice a day. They're going to get mum when they want her, because they're being weaned, so they've still got access to mum. And at night time, we put them inside this area here, and we close the door up. That just stops anybody. So Kit here occasionally has tried to get out of the cage, and we don't want that happening. We don't want a puppy to try and follow her and get cold somewhere. So at night time, when we're not around, she's going to be in there. She's happy with that. We'll put one of these nice doggy mats in there, and they'll all curl up in there. So the goal here is to eventually get mum off puppies, so they're not getting puppies at all. So what we're going to transition to is them getting mum all the time, plus feeding. Then them not getting mum during the daytime and only getting mum at night, to them not getting mum at all, and then she's fully weaned. And Kit here would stay with the babies until the day they leave. So typically our puppies leave at 10 weeks. She'd be with these puppies for 10 weeks. And so that's fine, except that I just don't want her being pulled down too much. And I want the puppies to, when they go to their new homes, to be totally, see this one here's already had it bad enough. I'm going to go back in for a bit more. And then you can see this little boy here. Look at his fat belly already. You can see he's getting filled up. They'll get plump doing this. The next thing you've got to contend with is poop. When they start eating regular food, they'll poop more, and you may find that mum does not want to clean it up. And that hopefully means that we can get them transition to pooping on this crate over here. So we'll see how we do.